If you're watching this video, chances are you're preparing for a system design interview. Today, I'm going to share some tips to help you succeed in your interview. One of the most important aspects of system design interview is the articulation of the design and your communication with the interviewer. Specifically, I'll be focusing on how to make critical design decisions, defend them, explain trade-offs, and avoid common pitfalls. To start, let's talk about how to make critical design decisions. When faced with a system design problem, it can be tempting to dive straight into the details. However, it's important to take a step back and consider the big picture. What problem are you trying to solve? What are the constraints of the system? Once you have a clear understanding of the problem and constraints, you can start breaking the problem down into smaller parts. This is where you'll need to start making design decisions. When making design decisions, you'll need to consider a number of factors, such as scalability, reliability, and cost. It's important to keep these constraints in mind throughout the design process. For example, if you're designing a system for a ride-sharing app, you'll need to consider how the system will scale as more riders and drivers join the platform. You'll also need to consider how to ensure that the system is reliable and can handle failures gracefully. Once you've made design decisions, you'll need to be prepared to defend them. This is where you'll need to be clear and concise. Make sure you can articulate the reasoning behind your decisions and how they address the constraints of the system. You should also be prepared to explain why you didn't choose other design options. Remember, there are often multiple valid design choices, but it's important to be able to explain why you made the choices you did. Another important aspect of a system design interview is being able to explain trade-offs. In any system design, there will be trade-offs to consider. For example, if you're considering using a microservice architecture, you'll need to weigh the benefits of increased scalability and fault tolerance against the added complexity and potential increase in operational costs. When explaining trade-offs, make sure you consider both the pros and cons of each option. Again, it's important to be clear and concise in your explanations. Now let's talk about some common pitfalls to avoid. One pitfall is getting bogged down in details too early in the process. It's important to take a step back and consider the big picture before diving into the details. Another pitfall is failing to consider all of the constraints of the system. Make sure you understand the scalability, reliability, and cost constraints of the system before making design decisions. Finally, another common pitfall is failing to communicate effectively with the interviewer. Make sure you explain your thought process clearly and listen carefully to the interviewer's feedback. To prepare for your system design interview, you should spend time practicing your design skills. This includes practicing breaking down problems into smaller parts, making design decisions based on constraints, and explaining trade-offs. It's also a good idea to research commonly used technologies and be familiar with how they can be used in a system design. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to our channel System Design Driven to get notified for our next set of videos.